Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Lectures on Human Diseases and Genes. In this video, I will discuss about bulimia nervosa. Bulimia nervosa was first described as a distinct condition by the American psychiatrist Gerald Russell in 1979. He coined the term bulimia nervosa to characterize the conditions involving episodes of binge eating followed by compensatory behavior. His contributions helped shape the understanding and treatment of bulimia. Bulimia nervosa is a significant mental health condition with varying prevalence rates depending on the population studied and the criteria used for diagnosis. Estimates suggest that approximately 1 to 2% of women will experience bulimia nervosa at some point in their life. Bulimia nervosa is significantly more common in women than in men. Women are about 10 times more likely to develop this disorder. The disorder commonly begins in the late adolescence or early adulthood, often between the age of 15 and 25. It can, however, occur at any age. The prevalence of bulimia nervosa can vary by region and cultural context. For instance, higher rates are often observed in industrialized countries where there is a greater emphasis on thinness and body image. The disorder is found across different socioeconomic groups, though societal pressures related to body image can influence its prevalence. With increasing awareness and better diagnostic practices, the recognition and diagnosis of bulimia nervosa have improved, potentially affecting reported prevalence rates. Risk factors are genetic, biological, and psychological factors, socioeconomic, structural, socio-cultural factors, etc. Bulimia nervosa is characterized by a pattern of binge eating followed by compensatory behaviors to prevent weight gain. The symptoms can be divided into behavioral, emotional, and physical categories. Behavioral symptoms include binge eating and compensatory behaviors. A binge eating episode involves consuming a large amount of food in a short period, often accompanied by a sense of loss of control over eating during the episode. Binge eating episodes are often marked by eating rapidly, eating until uncomfortably full, and eating alone due to embarrassment. Compensatory behaviors involve excessive exercise, fasting, or severe caloric restriction, self-induced vomiting, and executive abuse, etc. The disorder significantly influences self-esteem and self-worth, with individuals often evaluating themselves based on body weight and shape. Binge eating and compensatory behaviors occur on average at least once a week for 3 months. Emotional symptoms include guilt and shame, mood swings, and low self-esteem, etc. Patients experience intense guilt, shame, or disgust about eating behaviors and body image. They concern eating habits and compensatory behaviors from others due to embarrassment or fear of judgment. Individuals experience mood swings, irritability, or feeling of depression, which can be linked to the disorder's emotional toll, have a distorted body image, and placing undue emphasis on body weight and shape as a measure of self-worth. Physical symptoms include gastrointestinal problems, electrolyte imbalances, weight fluctuations, and physical health problems. Frequent forced vomiting can cause irritation of the throat and esophagus, and issues such as constipation, diarrhea, and abdominal pain related to laxative use or irregular eating patterns. Enamel erosion, cavities, and other dental issues are also caused by stomach acid from vomiting. Digestive disturbances are such as constipation, diarrhea, and abdominal pain related to laxative use or irregular eating patterns. Excessive use of laxative abuse and forced vomiting can lead to dehydration. imbalances in electrolytes, and potentially causing severe complications. Binge eating and compensatory behaviors cause frequent fluctuations in weight. Muscle weakness and fatigue are due to inadequate nutritional, and overexertion from excessive exercise can lead to muscle weakness and fatigue. Electrolyte imbalances and dehydration can lead to cardiac arrhythmias and other health problems. Bulimia nervosa, like other eating disorder, is associated with various changes in brain structure and function. These changes can impact how individuals process food, emotions, and self-control. Structural brain changes are reported in prefrontal, amygdala, hippocampus, etc. Prefrontal cortex is crucial for executive functions like decision making and impulse control, may show reduced volume or altered activity in individuals with bulimia nervosa, which could amygdala is involved in emotional processing. The amygdala may be hyperactive or show altered connectivity in bulimia nervosa, potentially contributing to heightened emotional responses and difficulties with impulse control. Structural changes in the hippocampus, which is involved in memory and emotional regulation, have, have also been observed. These changes may be related to the stress and emotional distress often associated with bulimia nervosa. Functional imaging studies such as fMRI have shown altered brain responses to food-related stimuli. For instance, increased activation in areas associated with reward processing like the striatum and regions involved in self-control like the prefrontal cortex may be observed during or after binge eating syndrome. Changes in brain activity related to emotional processing such as heightened activity in amygdala and decreased activity in the prefrontal cortex may influence the emotional aspects of bulimia nervosa, including distress and impulsivity. The brain's reward system, which involves areas like the ventrum, striatum, and nucleus accumbens, is reported to be dysregulated in bulimia nervosa. This dysregulation can impact the rewarding and reinforcing aspects of binge eating and other compensatory behaviors. Neurotransmitter systems, particularly serotonin, are involved in mood regulation and appetite control. Imbalances in serotonin levels have been linked to bulimia nervosa and may affect mood, impulse control, and eating behavior. Dopamine, that's another neurotransmitter involved in the reward system, may be also altered in the bulimia nervosa. This regulation in dopamine pathway could influence the rewarding aspects of binge eating and compulsive nature of the disorder. The genetic basis of bulimia nervosa is complex and not yet fully understood, but research suggests that genetic factors do play a role in the risk of developing the disorder. Variants in genes involved in mood regulation and appetite control have been studied, such as serotonin transporter SLC6A4, neuropeptide Y, brain-derived neurotrophic factor that is BDNF, and melanocortin 4 receptor that is MCR4A gene, etc. Variants in SLC6A4 gene, which encodes the serotonin transporter, have been associated with eating disorder, including bulimia nervosa. Neuropeptide Y is involved in appetite regulation and stress response. Some studies have suggested that genetic variation affecting neuropeptide Y protein levels might be linked to eating disorders. BDNF gene encodes BDNF protein, which plays a role in neuroplasticity and the regulation of mood and appetite. Variants in this gene may influence susceptibility to bulimia nervosa. MC4R gene is involved in appetite regulation and has been studied in relation to obesity and eating disorders. Bulimia nervosa is diagnosed based on criteria outlined in the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder, 5th edition. Key criteria include recurrent binge eating episodes, inappropriate compensatory behavior, and the impact of these behavior on self-evaluation. Binge eating and compensatory behavior occur at least once a week for 3 months. Cognitive Bulimia nervosa is a serious and complex disorder, but with appropriate treatment and support, individuals can achieve recovery and improve their overall well-being. Effective treatment for bulimia nervosa often involve a combination of approaches. Cognitive behavioral therapy is considered the most effective treatment for bulimia nervosa, addressing dysfunctional thoughts and behaviors related to eating and body images. Other therapies such as interpersonal therapy and family therapy may also be beneficial. Antidepressants, particularly selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, can be helpful in managing symptoms, especially when there is comorbid depression or activity or anxiety. Nutritional counseling with dietitian to help a healthy eating plan and address nutritional deficiencies. Regular medical checkup to manage physical health issues and complications related to disorders is also required. This is all about bulimia nervosa. If you or someone you know is struggling with bulimia nervosa, seeking help from a healthcare profession is crucial. So today we learned about bulimia nervosa, its causes, symptoms, and how it affects the body. If you found this video helpful and learned something new, please like this video and don't forget to subscribe my channel, Lectures on Human Diseases and Disease, for more helpful tips. Share this video with your friends and family members to spread awareness. If you have any questions or stories with this disorder, drop a comment. I would love to hear from you. Don't miss my next video. Until then, stay informed and take care of your health. Thank you very much.